Before the blind could see the light, before the lame could walk, before the dead were called out of their tombs, the world was quiet. For 30 years, the Word made flesh lived an ordinary life. He was a carpenter, hidden among ordinary people. The world desperately needed a savior. Humanity longed for a miracle. But when the Creator chose to reveal his glory, he did not choose a grand palace in Rome. He did not arrive with thunder and lightning. He chose a small village. He chose a wedding. He chose a humble beginning. Welcome to Grace Beyond Measure. Today, we step into a beautiful Bible story, a defining moment in Christianity history. This is not just about Jesus' first miracle. It is the moment grace overflowed. This narrative proves that grace begins at the wedding in Cana. Let us be still and begin this journey.
Golden sunlight washed over the hills of Galilee. Jesus and his first disciples were walking toward Cana. They were fishermen, men who had just left their nets behind. If you have watched shows like The Chosen, you can picture their quiet wonder. They were following a rabbi. They expected powerful sermons on mountainsides. But their first destination was a village wedding. Andrew, Peter, John, and Philip followed closely. They were still asking themselves, who is Jesus truly? Why would the Messiah prioritize a local festival? But Jesus walked with absolute peace. He knew the Jesus story would not start with war or conquest. It would begin by sharing in human joy. He valued the everyday moments of life. When they arrived in Cana, the celebration was magnificent. A first-century Jewish wedding did not last just a few hours. It was a glorious, exhausting festival spanning an entire week. Flutes trilled lively melodies, tambourines echoed in the courtyard, laughter filled the air. The scent of roasted lamb and warm bread was everywhere. There, Jesus reunited with his mother. Mary, mother of Jesus, was busy helping the hosts. She looked at her son with deep, profound love. Jesus sat down. He celebrated with his friends. His presence alone blessed the union of a man and a woman. It was a beautiful picture of heaven. But earthly joy is fragile, and human provisions always run dry. It started as a frantic whisper near the storehouse. The master of the banquet pulled the groom's father aside. His face was pale. "I have checked everywhere," he trembled. "The cellars are empty. Sir, we have no more wine." In our modern world, running out of drinks is a minor mistake. But in the ancient Near East, it was a complete catastrophe. Hospitality was a sacred duty. To invite guests for a week and fail to provide was a deep humiliation. It would bring lasting shame upon the groom's family. The joy was about to shatter. The music was still playing, but for the family, the dance was over. The crisis was a secret, but Mary noticed. She had the intuitive eyes of a mother. She saw the empty pitchers. She knew exactly what to do. She did not go to the merchants. She did not panic. She walked straight to her son. She leaned in and spoke a simple sentence of immense faith. "They have no more wine." She did not demand anything. She did not force a miracle. She simply presented a human need to divine abundance. Jesus looked at his mother. His response carried the weight of eternity. "Woman, why do you involve me? My hour has not yet come."
Calling her woman was not a sign of disrespect. It signaled a transition. He was stepping into his divine mission. His hour referred to the cross, the moment he would pour out his blood for humanity. Mary did not argue. She turned to the servants. She gave the greatest advice ever spoken. Do whatever he tells you. Jesus stood up. He walked toward the edge of the courtyard. There stood 6 massive stone vessels. These were jars of purification. They were used for Jewish ceremonial washing. Each jar held up to 30 gallons. They represented the old law, heavy, rigid, and entirely empty. Jesus commanded, "Fill the jars with water." The servants were confused. The master needed wine, not a bath. But Mary's words echoed in their minds. Just obey. They drew water from the well. They poured until the jars were filled to the very brim. There was no room for tricks. It was just ordinary, clear water. The creator of the universe did not shout. He did not wave his hands. He simply spoke. Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet. A servant, trembling, dipped his pitcher into the water. As he lifted it, he froze. The liquid was no longer clear. It was a rich, deep crimson. The scent of aged grapes and dark fruit filled the night air. The water had transformed. This is the exact moment Jesus Christ is described as turning water into wine, a moment that defied nature. The servant carried it to the master of the banquet. The man took a sip. His eyes widened in absolute shock. He could not believe his taste buds. It was perfect. It was impossible. Immediately, he called for the bridegroom. Everyone brings out the choice wine first. The master laughed loudly, clapping the groom on the shoulder. Then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink. But you have saved the best till now. The bridegroom smiled in confusion. He accepted praise for a rescue he knew nothing about. The shame was erased. The joy of the wedding was completely restored. Over 100 gallons of exquisite wine had been freely given. The old ritual of washing was replaced. This was the new covenant of grace. Where human ability fails, God steps in with extravagant generosity. This is the profound truth of the water into wine miracle.
In the corner of the courtyard, the disciples watched silently. They saw the empty jars. They saw the water go in. They saw the rich wine come out. In the book of John, the apostle wrote it clearly. What Jesus did here in Cana of Galilee was the first of the signs through which he revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. The veil was lifted. This gentle rabbi was not just a teacher. He was the Lord of creation. He could command the molecular structure of water as easily as he commanded light to shine in the darkness. This was the first sign of Jesus, the dawn of countless Jesus miracles. The tiny seed of their faith took deep root. They truly believed. The wedding at Cana eventually came to an end. Guests went home. The stone jars were emptied again. But the echo of that miracle rings through eternity. If you study the complete story of Jesus Christ, or watch classic Bible movies and the Jesus Film Project, you will notice a recurring theme. Grace begins where our human strength ends. When our resources dry up, when we face our own inadequacies, Jesus Christ steps in.
Cana was only the prologue. The wine that flowed freely pointed to a darker hill called Golgotha. There, he offered the ultimate wine, his own blood, poured out for forgiveness. The impact of his life is everywhere. We see it across Christianity and modern culture. From theatrical works like Jesus Christ Superstar to video games like I Am Jesus Christ. It is no surprise to see media figures like Joe Rogan fascinated by the story of Jesus Christ, because the core of the Christian faith is universal love and profound grace. Bring your empty jars to him today. Whatever has run dry in your life, the Savior is waiting to fill it. Thank you for listening. If this story moved you and you enjoy Bible reading audio or deep dives into the Word, please like and subscribe to Grace Beyond Measure. May His grace overflow in your life. We will see you in the next story.